Hey there, welcome back to Owl Dragon Adventures. I'm Rob McPherson, and this is my solo review of Unstoppable. So Unstoppable is a deck building game by John D. Clair, produced by Renegade Studios. It's part of their Solo Hero series, and it came out earlier this year. I did kickstart this when it was coming out, and I received my copy this year, and as usual, I went all in, which for this includes a expansion and also the neoprene mat. So that's what you are seeing in front of you here is the neoprene mats that I've got set up. I did get two of them, so I can play it either solo or you flip it over and it's got the player stuff. So the base game does not come with these neoprene mats, so just a heads up on that. So this is a deck building game in kind of a new way. So kind of a new and old way. The old way is a traditional deck building game where you're going to be able to purchase new cards to add to your deck. Well, that's kind of true, actually. So each round you get a new card that you add to your deck, and then you can purchase upgrades to that card. And he does that in a way that is pretty clever, in my opinion. So each of the cards are, they've got this kind of notched shape to them. And what that does is allows for extra upgrades to kind of nest in along here or nest in along the top or the bottom as well. And another clever thing about this is that as you build your deck and add strength to your own powers, you are also building powers for your enemies. So you are adding new enemies to the deck from the threat pile up there, from the threat deck up there, every time you add a card to your own deck. So you are building the threat as you are building up your character. Now, the game is called Unstoppable. It is supposed to imply that your hero, as they grow in power, are unstoppable against the enemies. I don't know if I'm just not good at this or what, but that is not my current experience. So I'll just preface by saying that I am not that good at this game. I've gotten decently far along on this. I've never beaten a single boss in this game. But also, that being said, I've had a lot of fun doing it. So I'm just going to dive into the gameplay, and then we'll move forward from there. So each round that you play, as I said, you are going to, from whatever level you are on, which is marked by the tokens up top, you're going to get to select from 3 cards that you're going to add to your deck. As you do so, you actually go ahead and you take the card and you slot it into this sleeve here. And you get a new card. So in this case, I got Virenos Solidarity, which when played is going to give me 2 new action points as well as a credit. And then when I flip that over, however, I've also added Genmod Enforcer to my deck. So this threat will end up coming up at some point, and he is going to have basically 3 hit points here. And if I let him go, he's going to hit me for at least 2 damage, and depending on how high up on the boss track we are, he'll hit me for harder. And he does have the rage keyword, which I don't remember what it means off the top of my head. Rage means during the threat phase, for each rage on the battlefield, discard 1 ally from play. That's right. So again, making the deck stronger, but also making our enemies stronger as we go. And then I would add that to my active hand for the turn. And from there, I'm going to be playing these cards using action points. I get 3 of them to begin with that I'm going to play against the 3 threats that are out in the field or the one that's on deck. That literally it's on the deck. And the goal is to obviously defeat them. As you work your way through the deck, you will be going through the threat here, and eventually you will reach the bottom when you go ahead and level up. When you level up, you move your level up token, and you're going to be able to acquire better and better cards. Now, as you also level up, the boss levels up as well, and everything gets more difficult as you go. Now, there's another way to get more powerful cards. I don't think I have any here. Yeah, here we go. So this icon here, you're going to see is, it looks like I don't know if we're going to get a focus on that, but it looks like the level up disc there, and you're able to separate the disc from its base and temporarily boost yourself up. So the next turn, you'll be able to have access to higher level cards. That's really, really important in this game. Or so I've been told. I've been doing it, and it's helpful, but I'm still just getting destroyed in this game. The other thing that you have access to is that you can go ahead and you can spend the credits that you gain through various cards to go ahead and buy upgrades to the cards. Some of them only can go on to allies. Some of them are just upgrades in general. And kind of the rule of thumb is you can never play two of the same shape cards. So you've got this guy here and this guy here. So you can see when they nest together, they form a full card. But I wouldn't be able to nest these two together because they are the same shape, so they would overlap. So that's kind of the general premise of the deck building part of this game. For me, the gameplay on this, even though I'm terrible at it and it is a bit hard for my taste, is really good. So I'd say that I'm a mid to high on the gameplay. I wish that it was a little bit more forgiving, or maybe that there was an easier mode. Maybe that's just a me thing. But I very much enjoy the gameplay, even though I don't think it enjoys me very much. Accessibility of this game. That's an interesting one. So I've had a lot of experience with some deck builders over the years, so I feel like it's a little bit hard for me to judge. I think that the rules are laid out in such a way that even somebody who's new to deck building will have a really good chance of diving in pretty quickly. That being said, the strategy in this game, as I've noted many times now, is difficult enough that it's even on the forums I'm seeing a lot of people have trouble figuring out how to play this. And as such, I think the strategy is going to push the accessibility a little bit lower for me, just because this is one of those games that, yeah, I can get the mechanics pretty quickly, but if you don't really know how to play, is it really that accessible? So I'm probably going to land it around a mid on accessibility. I mean, I like it, and I grasp it, but I don't get it yet. Yeah, so design. I think the design on this game is really clever. So I love deck building games or bag building games. Same kind of mechanic, just different, tactile sense. And I think this one's really clever because you're building the deck in reality. And I really like the fact that you're building the enemies at the same time that you're building your own deck. I wish there was a little bit more choice involved so you can help mitigate, so you're not as prone to just what the luck is of the cards. At least you do get to draw 3 and pick one. You're not just, the top of the decks is not what you're restricted to. But, I mean, a lot of thought went into balancing out all of these aspects. And from what I have seen, aside from the fact that it kicks my ass every time, it's really well designed and it is really well balanced. So I think the design on this one is definitely a high. It's a very clever game. It takes a really cool twist on the deck building mechanic that I've never seen before. Quality. So the quality of the cards are, they're okay. They're not the nice high quality cards. They're your standard card, which normally I would have a problem with, but the sleeves are, built into the game. So you need to sleeve these cards as you play. However, you do shuffle these cards unsleeved. Like I have to shuffle all of the upgrades before they get sleeved. I have to shuffle all of the core abilities before we start the gameplay. So, and because of the shape, that's pretty difficult. So I wish they were a little bit more durable in that sense. But we get these nice wooden components for the action points. Wooden cubes for trackers, but then we've just got pretty standard cardboard coins here, which, whatever. I know, I love my metal coins, but those are fine. And same with these. I wish there was upgrades for the damage and for the coins. I would totally buy them. And I do wish that the player boards were at least cardboard. I would have loved dual layer. In fact, I made my own. I don't know where they are right now. Yeah, here they are. So I've got my own that I 3D printed. This is kind of version 1 of it, but just gives me a little bit better feel to it and keeps the cubes from bouncing around. So I would have liked that to have come standard as some sort of double layer, or at least as an upgrade, but it's still pretty good. So I think the quality is going to be about a mid for me on this, but as we go into value, I think that it's fair for the value. So I just looked this up online right now. It is out of stock everywhere, but it will be available in short term for $60, which were everything you get for $60, which is, all of the core cards, several characters to play through, several bosses to play through. It's a good value. And the quality of the cards is fine considering how many cards you get and the fact that they are unique shapes. So this is not just a simple standard cut card. So I think $60 is a really good value for this game. I was very pleased with what I got for my money with the Kickstarter, with the cards, the expansion, and the neoprene mats. I think this is a high value game. So if you like deck building games and you're looking for a clever twist on it, this is really, really solid. I'm going to land at... I think I'm going to land at I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Sorry, I had to think about that one for a second. The game is really mean to me, which always makes it hard for me to rate it really high. But even though it's really mean to me, I've racked this game 3 times in a row after it's beaten me. And I'm not going to do that on a game that I don't really love. So it's mean. It's hard. I think that the Unstoppable title is better describing of the enemies than it is of the heroes. But overall, this is one of my favorite games in the Solo Hero series, and I think that John D. Clair did a fantastic job with this game, and I'm looking forward to it beating me up a whole bunch more in the future. So let me know in the comments down below if you have picked up Unstoppable. Let me know if you've beaten Unstoppable, and give me some tips. Please, I want to win. As always, please do like and subscribe. That really helps us grow our reach on this channel. And leave in the comments anything that you think that we should be looking at and reviewing in the coming days. We are going into the holiday season, so we're going to be getting a bunch of our lists coming out soon. So do go ahead and take a look at those. And we'll be letting you know what we've thought of the year 2025, which has been a fantastic year so far in board gaming. And I don't think I have anything else coming this year, so maybe so far is not the right word. But anyways, do like and subscribe below, and thank you for joining us on our board game adventures.